Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to the Games and Culture Podcast. As always, I'm Caleb. That's Nick.
Yellow.
Yep, same introduction every time. And we are back with some more news and stuff. Um, kind of a light week, light couple weeks. Lots of quiet, which is good because that means not so much bad. But
Yeah, not so much
so
bad.
nobody got laid off the last 2 weeks, I think.
Actually, I think there was. Now that I think about it.
Oh well, shit. Well,
Microsoft again. I think.
shit. Damn it.
We've already. I
Uh,
mean, it's. We'll cover that later. We can start with what we've been playing, all that stuff. Let's
Yes,
start with a good note.
the only good news in the in the video game world. Well, Nick, I send it to you to start, but I feel like I should start this time because I have some good news for you.
Okay.
I finished Paper Mario.
Oh, good. The review that we were gonna do like in June can be done in October.
Lord, man, it's honestly hard for me when it's a game that I've already played and I don't have like a super gigantic attachment to. I have more fond memories of the first Paper Mario versus Thousand Year Door because I didn't play Thousand Year Door until I want to say I was in my 20s. It wasn't a game that I played as a child, even though I had a GameCube as a kid.
Oh.
So the N64 Paper Mario original, I have more fond memories of, and then the Mario and Luigi games specifically, I have more fond feelings of, and we'll talk more about it in the review. But I am still of the opinion that the greatest Mario RPG is Bowser's Inside Story, and I will die on that hill. And replaying this version has cemented that. And we'll talk more about it, but in the review, which should be out this week at some point if we can record it. But so yes, I've finished it, and I want to say though, I've been keeping track of the games that I finished this year to make my top 10 list at the end of the year a little bit easier. I've got 12 games that I finished this year. I know.
All right. I think maybe more than me. I mean, we're kind of the slam now.
Yes.
Is there any other games you were playing? Where we'll ping pong back and forth.
So in between the last two episodes, I did finish Plucky Squire as well.
Oh yeah, it was on PlayStation Plus.
Yes. Play it on PlayStation Plus. Don't buy it at full price. It's 8 hours. They're retailing it for like $30. Wait for it to go on sale this holiday season during some Steam sales and stuff. It is good. It is inventive. But it is not worth the full price in my opinion. It's very rudimentary in things. And honestly, I think this was a game that set out with higher ambitions than what it could feasibly tackle, because towards the end of the game, when their bag of tricks has run out, you can definitely feel it, which is something that a lot of reviews had said as well. So I still had a good time, and a lot of the early moments in the game were simply magical. So but yeah, so 12 games down this year. Planning, since I have Paper Mario done, my plan is to play the Metaphor demo, which we'll talk more about when we talk about Tokyo Game Show, because progress carries over. So
Yes.
very hyped to get into that. I think I'm gonna try to finish Tales of Arise as well before Metaphor comes out, just to get that out of my backlog because I've been staring at it for so long.
I thought about playing the demo for Metaphor, but I'm just like I know I'm gonna play this game, so I'm just gonna wait till it comes out. I don't really. I have other things I need to be playing right now while that game's not out, so I'm gonna take that time to do that instead.
That's fair. That's fair. I thought about jumping into Zelda. I don't know.
Play that too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on that one. Just not because of anything bad, just in terms of time things. Because I think I can get Astrobot done before Metaphor comes out as well.
Oh, then we can review it.
Yeah,
because I did beat Astrobot.
I figured.
Yeah, within the past week or so. Phenomenal game. Like, I mean, it will be. Yeah, I'm not sure how you're feeling about, but it will be in my conversation for Game of the Year.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be in my conversation as well. Because honestly speaking, my history with PlayStation is a little bit longer than your history with PlayStation. So
PS3.
Exactly. PS1. So I'm sure a lot of those more classic references that maybe you weren't 100% on, that's probably gonna send me over the moon.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure it'll be in my top 10 list. Because, honestly speaking, uh, in terms of game of the year for last year, 12 of the 12 games that I've beat, two of them came out not this year, and one of them is Destiny Final Shape, which will probably not. I probably won't put on my list proper, but will probably be in my honorable mention since it is a DLC. So only 9 of the games have came from this year, so I'm sure that Astrobot will make that list.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm also
Well,
trying to clear my schedule because I'm gonna try and attempt Rebirth when the Pro comes out. So which is
my my thought process on Rebirth is I don't think that there's really anything major coming out after Metaphor aside
for you.
from Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah.
So my thought process is Metaphor and then into Rebirth. Because
You're
the
just
other
gonna
games like a Mario Party Jamboree will play together. And so
yeah.
that's not something I have to beat. That's just something that we'll play a few times and then we'll put out a review.
Oh no, there is something because you talked about Mario and Luigi. Mario and Luigi
Oh,
brother.
Brothership. Yeah. Okay. So
You're just eating a bunch of RPGs in the last 3 months of the year. Your belly is full with
and it's
RPGs.
still not enough. Yeah. So yeah, just like I did with Final Fantasy 16 last year, Rebirth has just been pushed to like the back half of the year. Um, and not because of anything with Rebirth. Honestly speaking, I'm just really sick and tired of open world games. We've had this conversation on the podcast before. They're just so dense these days because somebody upstairs said the denser the better, and that's not really the case. You can be open world and be focused, and I feel like it'll be better off. Because if you're putting an icon on a map, I'm not getting rewarded for going to that icon versus if you keep things focused and put little nuggets places still incentivize you to explore, the players getting something out of that exploration. So um,
Yeah.
I think
Oh my.
the games I want to tackle from here on in: Brothership, Metaphor, Rebirth, Dragon Quest 3, and Star Wars Outlaws, because we'll talk about it here in just a minute, but it's coming to Steam in November, which is a lot sooner than I expected. So those are the last 5 games that I want to complete this year before we do Game of the Year. So
Yeah, I have a few of those. Because I know
and Astrobot, so
besides,
6. Sorry.
um, what I started to do because I always have a soft spot for like Telltale games and all that stuff, and I do like the Life is Strange games. Well, I played one in Before the Storm. I never played two or True Colors. And the new one's coming out, which is gonna have the same protagonist as one. So I started replaying with Before the Storm. I'm just gonna play through the entire series leading up to it. Um, so that's kind of what I've been doing. So I need to beat that, but that's on my list is Double Exposure, then Brotherhood, Brothership, and obviously Metaphor.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi Brotherhood, completely different game.
So
They have hidden blades. They're rebuilding the order. It's crazy.
and there's some other stuff I don't think coming out. A bunch of pre-orders. Zelda game. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try and get a Zelda game done. So there's a long list, and we're in the cram part of the year now, unfortunately.
Yes. We'll see. We'll see if I get to Zelda. I'm excited for that game. The game reviewed well. I just there's just I think there's just other games that I'm more interested in right now than in playing, which is weird to say about a Zelda game. So, but yeah, so lots of stuff still ahead, which means lots of content for you all ahead. Something that Nick and I have discussed is bringing back something from our streaming days where we play Mario Party for a stream. Think about doing that as part of the channel if we can figure out a way to record it properly or stream it properly. So lots of
Yeah,
stuff, lots of reviews coming. Starting with Paper Mario, possibly our longest overdue review. So hey,
I've been
look
waiting,
at
man.
that. um, so as alluded to, when I talked about Star Wars Outlaws, there's some stuff happening at Ubisoft. Star Wars Outlaws came out last month because it's still September. Um, Above average reviews. People seem to like it for the most part. It seemed like it had some technical issues at launch, but nothing like Assassin's Creed Unity levels of crap. But it seemed to be enough to rattle the big heads at Ubisoft because Assassin's Creed Shadows, their biggest release of the year, um, aside from Star Wars Outlaws, has been delayed. It was slated to come out next month. They have pushed it back to February 11th. So quite a hefty delay. And yeah. So pretty interesting. They said in their announcement about the delay that they just needed time to finish up polishing the game. Um, and so a lot of people have taken that to mean that there's some issues going on at Ubisoft right now. So in the press release, they said, "Dear players, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a dream project for us. Finally bringing the series to feudal Japan with many features developed with our community in mind, such as parkour or the renewed stealth, brought by new technology, all set in a beautiful and immersive world. This is an ambition addition to the franchise, a rich experience that can be lived through the eyes of two unique protagonists, but we realize we need more time to polish and refine the experience, pushing further some of our key features. As such, we made the decision to postpone the release date to February 14th, 2025. If you have the Gold Edition pre ordered, you can get it still 3 days earlier on February 11th. The game will release on a broad range of platforms, including Steam at launch, which is something that they've not done in a while. Additionally, pre-orders will be refunded. All future pre-orders will be granted the first expansion for free. So they are giving away a lot there that they don't necessarily need to with a delay. And so a lot of analysts, a lot of pundits have kind of came to the realization that Star Wars Outlaws might have flopped a little bit more than people expected.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I mean, granted, there's gonna be some people out there who are trying to get points off of this for culture war shit. No, that's not why this game failed.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think the biggest thing is them just not releasing it on Steam.
Well, it's twofold. That's one of the reasons. I'll get that
Yeah.
in a second. The second reason is their own reputation.
Mhm.
It's Ubisoft. There's a couple of things with Ubisoft games. At this point, I'm like, they're almost all the same. But you talked about the icon stuff. Now, I don't think icons are inherently a bad thing. I think the Horizon games do it well. I think there's a place for that style. But Ubisoft overdoes that style
Yes.
to death. Not very well. I mean, they're kind of the kings of the mid game. They're not awful, but they're never anything special. So everyone just knows that about them. Like, so
Yeah.
even when Star Wars Outlaws was announced, I'm kind of like, it's a Ubisoft game. Oh, on. Oh. Did you pause it?
No,
Nope.
I didn't pause it.
Okay, we're on live.
You're talking to the audience, so if it was a good
Oh,
time.
I was confused. I thought
My
you
dogs
paused.
were
Okay.
acting a little crazy.
Okay. Anyway, as I said, they're the kings of the mid game. Even with Star Wars Outlaws, I wasn't like super like excited for. I'm like, it's a Ubi game. Like, and I was actually kind of interested in Assassin's Creed Shadows personally, and I still am. But the thing that the biggest pause I have with the game is it's a Ubisoft game. And there's also a second lesson people have learned with Ubisoft games. They go on sale really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So don't buy it at launch, because in 3 months I can get it for half off.
Yep. Yeah, and I also think there is something to be said about Assassin's Creed Shadows. In their press release, they did say that this was a long-awaited thing. People have been asking for feudal Japan in Assassin's Creed since the first one.
Yeah,
but now there's competitors, and so yeah, and Ghost of Tsushima before it. There's competitors now, so the premise of a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed is a little less appealing. But I think we should go through each of those and kind of talk about it. Them not releasing on Steam is a
Yeah,
huge smack in the face.
yeah. That was the thing I didn't say is no. I've always. I mean, I do think Steam needs a competitor because it's. I don't understand why. Like, oh, I get the benefit of having everything on one launcher, but PC is such an open platform. I think there should be multiple launchers. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but that's what I think. However, in terms of market, what's happened on the PC, it's clear as day. These Epic deals don't work.
Yeah.
It's clear as day they don't. Like, I don't understand how Epic can give you enough money to counteract what you're losing on Steam. Unless you're Alan Wake 2, which was the whole entire game was funded by Epic, which is a different story. In Ubisoft's case, that they didn't need Epic's help at all.
Yeah.
So that's just us hurting. Like at this point, just stop doing it because it's clearly more hurt than
Especially
help.
with a gigantic release like Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars is a grade A IP, and
Oh yeah,
you know, for me, I was very interested in Star Wars Outlaws because you got it was a game that was against the grain for Star Wars games. I wasn't a
yeah.
lightsaber force wielding person. I was a
Uh,
smuggler and a little bit more ground level.
I like the idea of it a lot.
Yeah.
And again, not releasing on Steam, but how much people. It's clear as day people will not leave it. Uh, you're not making back those licensing fee payments to
No.
Disney on Steam because we've seen
No.
those. The Insomniac leak from like a year ago showed those licensing fees for Marvel are expensive.
Yeah. And
So
I think so Star Wars Outlaws is releasing on Steam in November. I'm going to get the actual date here. But in the past, it has been usually like 6 to 8 months. So it's November 21st. So 3 months exclusivity with Epic. Usually those deals last for like 6 to 8 months. Prince of Persia, the new one that came out in January, it released on Steam in August. So for them to fast track onto Steam shows that this is an issue. And even further, Assassin's Creed is their largest franchise, bar
by far,
none. And it's launching day in, day on Steam. So I think Steam not releasing on Steam, that's factor one. I think that they really needed it to launch on Steam. Factor two, Outlaw's reception was a lot colder than they thought, and sales were a lot softer than they thought. So they need to make sure that Assassin's Creed is the hit that they need.
yeah. Because I mean, it's as I said, it ties back into them being the kings of mid. They do kind of a quality control problem because I'm not going to. The time is a premium. I'm not going to waste my time on something that I know is going to be mid, which
Yeah,
is what Outlaws was.
yeah. They are the king of the 7 out of 10s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks like Ubisoft is in a little bit more financial strait. So after they announced the delay, their stock price fell 19%. So they are hurting. And honestly speaking, I don't know if a delay is going to help anything. In fact, I think it's going to make it worse because at
They're
least you
really
would have got the holiday revenue if you released on time.
true,
And
and they're
now,
releasing to
yeah,
a crowded window.
it's huge. It's hugely crowded. So they're releasing 2 weeks before some major players, but it's all the games come out in February. The new Yakuza game, um,
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter, Avowed comes out in February, and then Assassin's Creed. Like that is a packed month. And if you are 7 out of 10, Avowed comes out maybe to be a 9 out of 10. Who knows? Yakuza is going to be fantastic because it always is. Monster Hunter is going to be fantastic because it always is. Like people are gonna want to put their time into those 9 and 10s rather than a 7, and so delaying out of October probably isn't the best.
Mhm.
Um, so
But I
I
mean,
don't.
I mean, it's kind of a.
Damn if you
Yeah,
do, damn if you don't.
it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because I mean, there has been. I mean, and right now Ubisoft's getting the brunt of it, but there's a necessary recalibration of the game industry that needs to happen across the board. Because a lot of studios have been spending way too much money, letting things take way too long, not having enough quality control, shoving things out the door before they're ready. Um, And granted, some are better than others that are in certain things, but Ubisoft was never the best at any of those, and it's coming to smack them in the face now. Like the era of I can just keep throwing shit at the wall and keep making money is coming to a close, and you have to recalibrate.
Especially since there's so many players in the business now. You are fighting not only for sales but for people's time as well, against all of these live service games that take up people's time, against all of the price hikes and inflation, and you're competing for people's dollars, you're competing for people's attention, and that's not always easy to do, at all. Um, and I think that's why the value proposition for Assassin's Creed Shadows is being raised. Everybody that pre-orders the game gets the first expansion. Like, you're increasing the buyer's value to hopefully bring on people,
I
because
mean, yeah,
again, you're competing with that time.
I mean, to be frank, I mean that is a good deal. That does kind of incentivize me more to pre-order it because I was interested in like, okay, I mean the first expansion free. That's actually like not a. It's making me reconsider. So I'm gonna give him
Yeah,
credit for that.
but then you look at everything else coming out in February, and you're like, maybe not.
I mean, granted, I'm not on the Monster how much as you are, so it's not. That ain't gonna be a time sink for me.
I hope no games are coming out in March, because I need that's
Switch
it's
2 in
just
March.
oh, that would be a disaster. So I'm still gonna just be playing Monster Hunter. Is there a world that I don't get Switch 2 at launch because I'm playing Monster Hunter? Is there a world? I honestly depends on the launch games. Honestly,
It also
honestly.
depends if you can get a Switch 2.
Well, that too. But if the launch games are just like Mario Kart 9, I'd be like, okay, I'll wait till they come. I'll wait till they come more in stock, I guess. Monster Hunter. Because I mean, kind of off on a tangent here. My interest in part of the reason why I didn't finish Paper Mario as quickly as I needed to was because my interest in my Switch is just like zero. Because I just love my Steam Deck so much more. So
The PC Master Race has consumed him.
yeah, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. I would say can the Switch play Yakuza, but coming this fall it can. So so well,
Well,
crap.
we can.
Um. So yeah, tough times at Ubisoft. Glad to hear we haven't seen. Glad to hear there's no layoffs around it, but I'm sure that shareholders are not too happy right now. So, but yeah, like you're saying, I mean, games go on sale after a couple months, so I can't wait for Star Wars Outlaws to go on sale on PC, on Steam, for less than what it was originally. So, uh, but also in the past week we had the Tokyo Game Show. Usually a good source of news. Usually Tokyo Game Show is good for like release dates because it happens kind of in that September window. So good about lining up release dates for early next year. You always get some good stuff from Japanese developers and stuff like that out of it. And there was some highlights. Uh, I mean, number one thing I said at the very beginning, the metaphor demo is super cool. Didn't expect there to be a demo. Is this the first demo that Atlas has done?
I don't know. They may have done other ones in the past. I'm not 100%
But
sure.
for a like major Persona esque RPG.
I don't have no clue. They could have. I wasn't around for Persona 5
I
launch.
don't remember any of the Personas having demos. So it's cool to see that Metaphor is getting one. Some other things that got announced: My Hero Cross Overwatch 2
Oh yeah,
skin line. My disappointment is immeasurable.
I mean, at least unlike Cowboy Bebop, My Hero is actually in Fortnite, so we can actually just get the real deal characters in that
Well,
game
so so
comparatively.
credit to Blizzard. The skins do look better than the Fortnite counterparts. The anime skin lines in Fortnite are
Gosh,
just
I
awful.
I vehemently disagree with that. Vehemently.
I hate the cell shading. If they made them in the Fortnite style, it would be so much better. But digression point there. So Reinhardt as All Might. Kiriko as Toga, Tracer as Deku, so weird. Reaper as Todoroki, not Todoroki, Shigaraki, and the new hero, who I'm forgetting her freaking
Juno.
name, Juno.
Juno.
Yeah, that's right. Juno as Uraka. Um, Juno's been in the game for like 3 weeks and already is getting skins, so that's been a pretty big inflection point with Overwatch 2 fans out there. Um,
Oh, and
the
also,
skins.
Kiriko and Reinhardt are really getting favorite with these, crossover skins.
Well, so it's because since you're monetizing skins now, it's because they're they're some of the most popular characters. League of Legends does this as well. Characters like Misfortune, Ezreal, Lux all have like 20 plus skins. Versus somebody like Rumble, who's been in the game since the beginning, only has like 6. So yeah, they know where their bread is buttered. And Overwatch is no doubt the same. The skins are available on October 17th is when the window starts for those skins. They're all $50 billion. So if you want to be All Might Reinhardt, fork over your wallet. Um,
I'm good.
Xbox had a big presence there, announcing that the StarCraft games will be coming to Xbox Game Pass, which is kind of cool. Um, um, we got new looks at Monster Hunter Wilds, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. There's going to be another Fragpunk beta, which is that cool card shooter game that was revealed during Summer Games Fest. Um, got some new footage of the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Got new looks at Metal Gear Solid Delta. Um, Sega showed off more Metaphor stuff. Showed off some Sonic X Shadow Generations. There's going to be a DLC based on the movie, which is super cool. And Keanu
Keanu's
Reeves.
voicing.
Yep, Keanu Reeves is voicing Shadow in the DLC, which is super cool. I guess his time as Johnny Silverhand has really kind of got him bit on the voice acting bug. So hopefully we see more Keanu in some video games. Sega also announced the new Like a Dragon game. So Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza comes out February 28th because there is no god. Uh, and will be featuring series mainstay Majima, who, after the events of Infinite Wealth, the game takes place about 6 months after Infinite Wealth, washes up on Hawaii's shores, doesn't remember who he is, and becomes a pirate. Uh, so,
As one
um,
does.
as one does, yeah. I mean, when in Hawaii, you become a pirate. Um, and so the game is going back to more of its action RPG style with the hand-to-hand combat and stuff, which I think is appropriate since Majima was in those games prior to
Yeah.
them becoming turn-based RPGs. So I think it's cool that they're kind of
I mean,
self-referencing that a little bit.
yeah, because I mean, I've heard the name of I can't remember blank on the name of the 7-8 protagonist. You're probably gonna
Ichiban.
Ichiban. Yeah, Ichiban is the one that causes the turn-based stuff because he's just obsessed with Dragon Quest.
Yes.
So, but canonically, everything is taking place in real time. It's just him.
Yeah.
Um.
Hey, but that spreads to Kiryu, just for reference. So
Oh no, it's infecting him.
it really is actually. And so yeah, and so part of the pre-order bonus, you can get Ichiban onto your crew. So I think there's gonna be some kind of like recruitment type thing for the crew of your ship and stuff like that. It looks like more Yakuza wackiness.
As
And I can't wait. Um, if Monster Hunter Wilds isn't Steam Deck compatible, I'll probably be playing.
no, it won't be. I can almost guarantee
I know,
that.
I know. In my wildest dreams, it will be, but I'll probably be playing Wilds on my computer, and then when I'm away from my computer, be playing Yakuza Pirate.
Yeah, there was some information about Monster Hunter Wilds that came out.
Yes, the system requirements.
Yeah, the PS5 and Series XS. I'm wanting this game to run the Series S well at all because they're running for 30 FPS capped for the base PS5 and Series X. The PS5 Pro and PC they're going for 30 FPS uncapped, which is like Okay.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, thank God I upgraded my PC.
So yeah, good thing you did. There ain't no way that Steam Deck running that thing.
My faith restored. There is somebody up there looking out for me. um, but yeah, so Sega had a pretty big presence. Bandai Namco showed off some new footage of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and the new Sword Art Online, Fractured Daydream. Capcom obviously showed off more Monster Hunter Wilds, like I said. That game is going to just make them so much money.
I knew they were going to get that game out before the fiscal year ends in March. I knew
Yes.
that was the plan
Yes.
to, and they exactly what I thought they were going to do.
Yeah, February 28th is the release date. It was announced at the Sony State of Play, which you can check out our video. We watched it live and did a full breakdown of it. Literally, it's my game of the year next year. I'm already calling it.
I mean, I'm willing to bet. I think Monster Hunter Wilds will be the top 3 selling games of next year. The top 2 of Grand Theft Auto doesn't release.
Yeah,
because I don't know what Call of Duty is going to do next year. That's kind of iffy one there. But if Grand Theft Auto releases, it's number 1.
Yeah, for sure.
But Monster Hunter is top 2 or 3.
For sure.
Easily.
I think they showed off more stuff about Fatal Fury, right? You'd be the expert on that one.
Yeah, so they showed off Well, one, they have a tease. I want to start with the tease first. If this tease is what we think it is, it's gonna be the wildest fighting game crossover I've ever seen. I thought the Lucy Guilty Gear Strive one.
Yeah.
I thought the Lucy Guilty Gear Strive one was the weirdest one each year. And as a kid, is looking like, no, hold my beer. If it's what we think it is, Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be a fighter. Now, we don't know yet because just a tease that he's going to be doing something with the game. They just haven't specified what. But if he's a fighter, I mean, SNK knows their clientele.
You texted me about that, and I was like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. So you were saying Chun-Li.
Yeah, Chun-Li and Ken, though, we have been confirmed they are coming in the season pass, which you get for free with the game when you buy it. Season pass 1 at least. So that means with Ken and Chun-Li going to Fatal Fury, and we just got Terry in Street Fighter 6, and Mai's now on her way. So we have 2 characters from each franchise swapping over. I mean, I feel like Capcom vs SNK 3 is an inevitability at this point.
So I think the Marvel vs. Capcom collection sold super well. That's step 1. I bet you they'll do another Marvel vs. Capcom. If it sells well, then we'll get SNK vs. Capcom.
Well, what they could easily do is Marvel vs. Capcom. Obviously, Marvel's not a developer. Capcom development. Capcom vs. SNK. SNK development.
That's true. I mean, that's true. Or we have Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK.
Oh, we're just combining all 3 of them.
We're just taking the Smash Bros. approach. Everyone is here. Entire MCU catalog, entire Capcom catalog, entire SNK catalog. I want to be a guy from Metal Slug shooting down Spider-Man and Monster Hunter.
Yes, have Terry Bogard ready to fight Venom.
Yeah, see? The craziest crossover game ever. Marvel vs. Capcom vs. SNK vs. Nintendo vs. Xbox.
Oh God.
It would work. It would sell. It would work. It'd sell 1 billion copies. But yeah, so Tokyo Game Show. It's never the biggest games showcase of the year. Not compared to what Jeff Keighley does or even Gamescom, but good little amount of information coming out of it. So very cool to see.
We had a state of play last week, which that was kind of part of it.
Yes,
but we were set that live, so we'll have that.
Yeah, you can check out the video. Biggest announcements: Monster Hunter Wilds release date, like we said. Astrobot's getting the free DLC, and Horizon's getting a remaster that comes out in October. Why?
We don't know.
Still doesn't know. But the biggest announcement was that Ghost of Tsushima is getting a sequel, and it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2. It's not Ghost of Tsushima. It is Ghost of Yote. It takes place, I think they said like 200 to 300 years after.
years
Yeah,
after.
after Ghost of Tsushima, it's in a different region in Japan, being the Yote region. Different protagonist. It's a female protagonist, and I really like the fact that they're not going back to Jin. They're making it kind of its own thing every
Mhm.
single game. I think that works well with bringing on new players. I think that works well because it gives you storytelling freedom. Um, Game looks immaculate. The trailer opened with a very Kurosaki samurai movie opening with the black and white, and it kind of faded into color and opened up to the whole trailer. It looks fantastic, like Ghost of Tsushima did. I know you weren't a very big fan of Ghost of Tsushima. I've never played it, but I know that the quality is there.
Mhm.
So a lot of the internet was very happy to see Ghost of Yote. There was a select few people that immediately picked up their pitchforks and started ranting about the fact that it was a female protagonist. And if you are one of those people, the show is not for you. Please click off the video, go somewhere else, go sit in an echo chamber and talk to yourself. Because if you are getting upset about a female protagonist in a video game, you need help, professional help, because it's a video game and there's nothing wrong with a female protagonist in a video game. Same
Yeah.
people that think Aloy is ugly and all those kind of people, just please go away. Just
We're not. We're
crawl
not.
back
We're not.
into your holes. Stay there.
We're we're not here to debate you. We're not. You're not. You're not. We're not justifying your stupid opinions with debate. Like
Yes.
your opinions are stupid. You should feel ashamed of yourself. Go
Yes.
away.
Yes. They slated Ghost of Yote for sometime next year, so that seems like that's the next big cornerstone franchise for Sony. Um, to show us next year. So, um, Sucker Punch. I hope after this you work on a new Infamous, or give us another Sly Cooper. You get
Yeah.
two ghosts. That's as much as
I
we'll
mean,
handle for now.
I'm curious if Sucker Punch only has one team versus I know different studios and Sony's repertoire have multiple teams of their studios
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
going off at once. I wonder if Sucker Punch has more than one. I hope they
Uh,
do.
I mean, from what it seems like, I would say they probably don't because they
Yeah.
went
What it
after
seems like
Ghost of
they don't.
Tsushima. They did the multiplayer for Ghost of Tsushima, and then they went like full into Ghost of Yote. It seems so.
Yeah.
I think that they are just like one mind, one studio. Let's do it. They don't.
Which I
I
mean,
think, which is fine, which is totally fine. I just also think when you're like that, you have to be very particular about the projects that you're doing. So I would just like to see them return to Infamous. Maybe they're afraid to, since Insomniac now has Wolverine and Spider-Man, because
yeah.
you're kind of self cannibalizing a little bit if you're Sony,
I
because
mean, how
Infamous
many?
was the superhero franchise.
That's true. If you want to go with the superhero game, hmm, that is a
So,
good point.
but
Or
that's
even
not here
just
nor
like
there. Yeah, just do Sly Cooper. Fuck,
I
everybody
mean,
likes Astrobot. Platformers are fine. They're great.
and they're cheap to make.
Yeah. Quick turnaround after Yote, do a new Sly Cooper, put it out in like 2 years or so, make a shit ton of money, go into your next project. So, but speaking of PlayStation, not only did they have a state of play, they also showed off some cool new stuff for their 30th anniversary. It already went up for pre-order, and it already was a disaster. So, in the state of play, they announced their 30th anniversary line of products. Includes a PS5 Pro, the disc drive attachment, regular DualSense controllers, Edge controllers, and the charging station for the dual senses, all adorned with the classic PS1 era gray kind of finish. The All of the PlayStation logos on all of these products have the classic multicolored logo, and you know, a lot of this year, people have been thinking of what they're going to do for the 30th anniversary, and this is what it was. The controllers look fantastic. I know both of us in the state of play were excited to see the controllers with the colored buttons. Hit me right in my nostalgia feels because I love that PlayStation 1 gray.
I mean,
I recently added a PlayStation 1 emulator onto my Steam Deck to play some PS1 era JRPGs, and I spooted one up to make sure I did everything right and it worked. And that PlayStation whoa, thing happened. It felt like
oh,
an arrow of nostalgia
Uh,
just pierced my heart.
Astrobot's gonna do that a couple times to you. I'll tell you what.
Yes. Yes.
um, but yeah, no, I would argue to say, the PS2 through the 4 was just jet black color. I think the PS5's color palette is pretty good, the dual tone,
Yeah.
but the PS1's colors just reign supreme still to this day.
Super Nintendo also did the gray with the light gray and the colored buttons and everything like that. But
Mhm.
so yeah, so these consoles and the products went up for pre-order last week. And if you've ever done anything with Sony's website, you know it was a disaster. And our correspondent out in the streets, Nick,
Oh
was
god,
there to try to pre-order 30th anniversary items. Nick, tell us how it went.
I got nothing. Okay. I wasn't going for the Pro because that thing was going to be like $1,000. I'm like, and they only made like 12,300 of them,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
So I wasn't putting my hat into that ring. I just wanted the Edge controller, man.
Yeah.
I was right there, but their damn site was malfunctioning to the point was clicking to add a card, wouldn't add a card.
Yeah, and so that mirrors a lot of my experiences last year with the Sony Direct website because I had to do that for the Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition, which I got two of somehow because of some errors. I did that with the Spider-Man plates, and I didn't end up getting them on the Sony website. Ended up getting them through another retailer. But yeah, it was awful. I had three devices going the entire time between a laptop, my phone, and my tablet, trying to get in line somewhere, and it was just awful. The bots take over so quickly, um, and
I mean,
so
this
yeah,
is, this is kind of my own soapbox. This has been a problem for so long.
yes,
I know why something hasn't been done about it because this is an issue I think government should get involved in and like stop this shit. But I know why they don't, but that's a different
yes,
story. Um, but this is genuinely something I feel like needs regulation. Like these bots are buying things from people who paying customers who want that, and I think also Sony should have been a bit more strict of how they're giving out the pros since there was so few. Because here in Japan, what they're doing is they're doing like a raffle but if we get in the raffle, you need to input your stuff, like your account, and there's to be like a minimum play time in your account to get
yeah,
it in Japan.
yeah,
You should have that worldwide.
yeah, absolutely. And there've been other companies that have done things like I think Riot at one point for some League stuff, you had to have purchased the battle pass in order to pre-order some event stuff.
Hmm.
The minimum playtime stuff like that. That's how you ensure that there aren't bots that are in the midst. And I mean, this situation even gets worse than what you're describing with the long wait times and stuff like that. There are now people reporting that their pre-orders are just getting canceled.
Hmm. I'm surprised.
Despite putting calls into customer support. Um, which is just crazy.
I I am baffled at the low amount of the pros because the digital the base PS5 they made limited, but a lot of those. I didn't get the Edge controller that I wanted. I'm fairly certain it's gonna come back. The Pro's gone. The Pro's absolutely gone. But I don't understand. Like, I get the 12. I get the number of 12, the 12.3 because it's the release of the PS1, but they only made 12,300. Why not 123,000? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because that would have sold.
I mean, I'm assuming it's because they. So it's really weird how some companies do special edition consoles, right? So the idea that they're special is because they are limited, and I think that that's kind of faulty because the reason that they're special is because they're special to the person that's buying them.
Yeah,
I have an
and
emotional attachment to that 30th anniversary console because it reminds me of my PS1.
Mhm.
I bought the all red Mario Edition Switch because red is my favorite color.
Yeah,
I have the Spider-Man PS5. I bought the plates and stuff for it because Spider-Man is my favorite character ever. So the amount of a console getting made to make it special is kind of stupid. And I think Nintendo proved it with the Animal Crossing one. So for the longest
yeah,
time, the Animal Crossing Switch, when it first released, it was supposed to be limited, but Nintendo saw the incredible demand in Japan that they continued to make it, and then it was a staple for a number of years until the demand waned, and then they got rid of it. It may have cost them a little bit extra to make that console versus just the regular consoles, but if there's a demand for it, then people are going to buy it, and then you're not, ended up really not wasting your money.
Yeah, and also and the same thing, particularly with this go around with the console. The consoles don't have anything special besides like the console itself is the normal black console.
Yes.
It's the plates that are special. Why didn't you just sell the plates?
That's also a weird one with this one is why didn't you just sell the plates? I think it's because the PS5 Pro hasn't released yet, and that's why they're not selling
I
it with
mean,
the plates.
sure, I get for the Pro specifically, but the Slim's out. And the Slim and the Pro use the same plates. So I don't know why they didn't do it.
I think it's just a disaster every way you look at it. Unfortunately, I don't know why companies choose to do limited consoles.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially with the
there is
PS5 since it has those removable plates.
yeah, it's always baffling. I mean, I still don't know why they don't just sell the Spider-Man plates still. Like,
Yeah. What's the
I'm
problem
sure.
with that?
Yeah, I'm sure those plates. I'm sure the plates are cheap to produce.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Uh,
They sell them for $60+. I am sure that they are making anywhere between 80%. I think they're probably making 80% profit on it. I bet you it makes no. I bet you
yeah,
it's no more
they're,
than like $10 to actually make them, if
yeah,
if if not less.
they're just hard plastic. There's no technology on them. They pop off. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a baffling thing Sony does with that. Um, there's some good news. Last I checked. I mean, I can check right now. Sorry, recording. Um, if you're interested in just the base PS5, um, it's still available. Well, base PS5 Pro, yeah, nope, it's still available on the Sonora. So you want the system itself, it's still there. Um, so I haven't tempted like, do I want to risk it? But I'm just gonna get it at Best Buy because I have a credit card, so it helps me out. But that the console itself is still there if you're interested in the Pro. So that is good news. If,
30th anniversary
yeah,
stuff though, gone, zero, zilch. You
oh,
get nothing. Good day, sir. You lost to a bot. You fool.
one day, like I said, I'm hoping they put some of the other stuff back at least.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the coolest thing on there was the paperclip.
Oh yeah, no, I think the coolest thing is the cable.
Yeah, the cable is super cool. I was just making a paperclip joke because why even include that? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
why even include that? The cable ties are cool though with
Oh yeah,
the symbols. But yeah, I think you're right. The coolest thing is the cable. That cable hit me too right in the feels. All
I
right,
mean
let's get. Oh, go ahead.
even the normal dual sense, like it's its best looking color.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, Spider-Man, but second best color, sure. You don't want that Fortnite controller? What's wrong with you? Come
I
on.
don't need a Fortnite controller.
That controller is uglier than sin. My God. Okay. Well, let's get into the biggest news story of the week. Palworld. It released on PlayStation this week. What's also
So
happening this week is they're getting sued by Nintendo. I think most people there's some people on the internet that were like calling for this for stupid reasons. But
well,
I think a lot of people thought it was probably going to happen, but not in the
the
way that it's happening.
yeah, and say the people who were calling for it were I don't think they were correct. The people who were calling were thinking there was model ripping from like they ripped the models from like Pokemon 3DS or one of the
Yeah,
DS and put it in Power World. If that is the case, Nintendo I think would be justified in doing that. Sure.
but
But
it's not.
that's not what they're suing over.
Yes.
They're suing for because that would be copyright infringement. This is patent
Yeah.
infringement.
So let's back up. So Palworld is an immensely popular creature catching survival game that released on PCs and Xbox earlier this year and was an instant hit. Broke concurrent player count records on Steam, became Xbox's largest third party offering on Game Pass, um, which is interesting wording because now Call of Duty's first party. So, but anyways, um, it broke a shit ton of records. People are still playing it to very high regards. It's a very fun game, a game that I've really enjoyed this year, and it's one of those like breakout hits that you just didn't see coming, um, and kind of transcended genres and stuff like that. As with all things creature catchy, obviously that raised an eyebrow over at Nintendo, and so a lot of people started saying that the character models were ripped off from Pokemon, and some of the pals look similar to some Pokemon, all of the normal stuff. Um, and there were, like I said, people calling for Palworld to be sued by Nintendo over all these infringements. And the reason why Nintendo did not sue them over copyright is because they really didn't have any grounds to stand on. It's all of it's legally distinct. You're not really going to get anything out of that. But like Nick said, it's a patent lawsuit. So in Nintendo's eyes, the company that makes Palworld,
Pocket Pair.
Pocket Pair, yep, thank you, has infringed on some of Nintendo's patents. Now, Nintendo puts out a lot of patents for a lot of shit all the time.
Most definitely.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what patents they think are
Oh
being
no,
violated.
they already it is out there what it is.
Oh, it is. It's the is it the ball catching mechanic essentially?
Yep,
That's
it's
what
the
I
ball.
thought it was too. Because there's been lots of these creature catcher games. My personal favorites, Cassette Beasts, but you've got like Exomon and Koromon and all of these kind of other ones. But none of them have a thing where you're throwing a ball to catch a creature like Pal
So
World does.
so the timeline of events is interesting because here's the thing, Pokemon didn't have that too. You threw a ball, but it wasn't like Power Worlds. You're aiming, throwing, hitting the creature. They didn't have that until 2 years ago with Pokemon Legends, and that's when Nintendo filed the patent for that mechanic.
Oh, interesting.
But here's the thing: Power World is not Pocket Pair's first attempt at doing something like this. There was one earlier, I think, apparently 2020 or something like that, which had a similar mechanic. So the biggest issue right now, if this was U.S. law, like this case was being done in the U.S., the case would be thrown out because Pocket Pair would have beaten Nintendo to that punch. Therefore, Nintendo would not be able to patent it. This is being done in Japan. I don't know Japan's patent laws, so
Yeah.
all of us in the dark how this is gonna go. Um, but I'm gonna say this: this is fucking petty of Nintendo.
Well, actually,
Like,
so just breaking today, they are filing the lawsuit in the United States as well.
oh, hopefully it gets thrown out.
Yeah, um just breaking today. I just literally just pulled up the article.
Well,
Um, but I agree. This is petty of Nintendo. This is we see a competitor, and we're going to shut it down.
I
Um,
mean, it's twofold. One, I mean, they're trying to patent game mechanics like that. That's scummy. Everyone hates when people like in the industry. It's entirely frowned upon. Like patent your characters, sure, whatever. No one can use Mario, okay. But do patent the mechanic itself? Like people are still angry at WB to this day for patenting the Nemesis system.
yeah,
So, like, this is just a shitty thing to do, Nintendo. Um, on top of that, like, okay, yeah, they came in and took your lunch. Maybe if you would get Game Freak under control and don't put out shit like Scarlet and Violet, they wouldn't have eaten your lunch so much.
yeah. And this really just is because they are now the biggest competitor to Pokemon. I mean, honestly speaking, they Pocket Pair said that PS5 version of PS of Pal World is going well. Um, and so I mean, and that just released last week. And so it it's it's just a sad thing that they are grasping at straws to really kind of shut this game down as a competitor. And honestly speaking, it's in markets that you don't have Pokemon in. It's on PC, it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's not on Switch. So why does it necessarily matter to you? It's because Nintendo is super protective of their IPs, and they see this thing as a threat to that somehow.
As I said a second ago, I mean, the biggest threat to Pokemon to me, honestly, isn't even Palworld. It's Game Freak's own incompetence.
Yes. Yes. Um, Speaking about the lawsuit at Tokyo Game Show, Pocket Pair's global community manager John Buckley said that the studio is going to march on despite the lawsuit. We refuse for any plans to be changed. We march on, said John Buckley in a statement. In particular, their vow to ensure that indie game developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing their creative ideas is very important to the studio, and that's why they're making sure that they're not changing their plans. And they'd have no reason to. This game still averages 20,000 concurrent players on Steam. Just released on PS5. Sales are already going well for it. This is simply just a reaction to Palworld's success from Nintendo. And it's sad.
I mean, I wasn't much into the game, but I'm kind of have turned to buy it on my PS5 as I kind of support them, type of thing. But I'm hoping with this because Microsoft has some investments with this whole thing because obviously that was exclusive for a minute, and then Sony invested in Power World Entertainment, so both of them have some cash into this now.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's a $3 trillion company. I can't believe I'm saying this. I want Microsoft to bully Nintendo. I'm hoping I'm hoping Microsoft goes go to Pocket. You know what? Here's some lawyers. I can afford it.
Yeah, I think
Real
that's
good lawyers.
I think that's what the goal of this lawsuit is. I think that there's not very many legs that Nintendo has to stand on, and so this is just combat by legal fees. They're just trying to kind of force Pocket Pair to throw some money at the issue, maybe delay a couple of the expansions or new pals being added, and that's what they're hoping to get out of it. And if that's the case, it's really sad. It's like a human being bothered by what an ant's doing. Like Palworld, despite its success, is not Pokemon and never will be Pokemon. Pokemon is the highest grossing entertainment property of all time. It has eclipsed Hello Kitty, it has eclipsed Mario, it has eclipsed Marvel and Star Wars, everything. Pokemon is the biggest household name of
On the planet.
anything, really. Pokemon is just recognizable at an instant. And Palworld is in no way a threat to that.
No. Yeah, I don't. This is. I mean, so the good news is I didn't know that the U.S. thing was happening until today. You just broke that.
Yeah, it got announced today. So
the good news is if we're following the same type of thing as they did as they follow in Japan, it will probably be thrown out in the United States, hopefully, which would be a good thing. We can probably have a better guess of one. We can see what the documents are here. We know how our own laws work. The issue is I just don't know how it's going to with Japan because I just don't know what exactly they filed over there and what exactly the laws are over there. I'm going to say this much though: if this lawsuit succeeds on Nintendo's behalf and basically Power gets shut down, I'm never buying a Pokemon game ever again, ever.
I cannot make that promise. It's one of my favorite franchises, but it definitely will hurt my faith in the brand for sure.
I mean, Scarlet Violet already did that too.
I mean, yeah, that's true. It's like I said, it's like a human being irritated by what an ant's doing. Like there's in no way that an ant is going to directly affect my life in such a way. Like Pokemon being bothered by Palworld is the same thing. Palworld, even though it's done extremely well, it will never match Pokemon's numbers. I mean, Scarlet and Violet, even though it's a shit game, still sold 10 million copies in its first 3 days. Like, come on. And even though Palworld sold, I think it was like 8 million copies in like its first week or something like that, it still doesn't have that same Pokemon appeal.
To be frank, I mean, letting a kid play Pokemon is no big deal. I don't know if a kid should be like, a super young kid should be playing Power World.
It's really not that bad, but
It's
like
not that bad, but it's still like, I
better than
don't know if I.
GTA at the very least. But
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
better than GTA, but
yeah,
that's.
it's not a competitor to Pokemon. It's its own thing. And so for them to get this concerned to do a patent lawsuit, um, PC Gamer, I'm going to quote an article here that PC Gamer had a IP attorney actually give them some insight on what this lawsuit necessarily means. And they said, I'm going to quote him here. The IP attorney is Kirk Sigmund. And then again, I'm quoting a PC Gamer article here. This means that Nintendo needs to convince the Japanese legal system that Pocket Pair has infringed on and the quote begins, a concept they think is new, novel, and non obvious. Generally speaking, it can't be abstract ideas, it cannot be creative works, it cannot be brands. It has to be unique to the patent system. So, even though it is a ball that you're throwing to capture a creature, it is kind of obvious that you throw a ball, right? That's why I think Pokeballs are Pokeballs. You throw a ball.
Yeah.
So I don't really know that Nintendo's going to really have any legal standpoint here um to stand on, because I mean that is an obvious thing to throw a ball. So if I'm designing a game that I'm throwing something to capture creatures, the first thing I'm going to think of is a ball, cuz you throw a ball. I don't throw cubes. I don't. Like you're thinking of throwable objects to capture things. I think the only thing that there can be is a ball. So it's just really petty, like you said. It's one of those things. Like I love Nintendo to death, but their desire to squash game preservation, their desire to shut down ROM sites, their desire to do a frivolous lawsuit like this really just makes me kind of think twice before I buy that next Nintendo game, before I buy that next Nintendo console. And it always does stick at the back of my mind, like why does this matter to you? You're the largest video game company. You have been since your inception as a video game company. People line up to your stores every day before opening just to be there. That sick ass museum in Kyoto is going to do so well, and people all over the world are going to come see it. People pre-order the next Mario game. People pre-order the next Zelda game. People pre-order the next Pokemon game. You never have to worry about that. Why does this matter to you?
It's baffling. I mean, I think it's really show because I mean we do shit on Microsoft a lot just because they do things that deserve it. But this also goes to show what earlier what Sony was doing and what Nintendo's doing now. They ain't your friends either.
No, they are not.
None of them are your friends. So
But
don't go to bat for them if it's don't go to bat for them if it's unnecessary.
hi Reinhardt, hi buddy. Reinhardt guest starring here. I think for me though, personally, Nintendo's behaviors are a little bit more baffling to me. So their
I'll agree with
entire
that.
their entire catalog is based on the legacy that they've created. Legend of Zelda wouldn't be popular if Legend of Zelda wasn't popular then. Mario wouldn't be popular today if Mario wasn't popular then. And so they actively like bar entry into playing the games that inspired and created the games that we're playing today. And it's just baffling to me.
But no, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, they're definitely the most baffling of the three. Sometimes I can get some of Sony's weird anachronisms, and I get some of Microsoft's because of
Yeah, both of
I
those just
get it.
boil down to big company being big greedy company.
But it boils down to I want more money.
Yeah.
Okay, Nintendo is you could
Don't
get more
use my
money.
shit.
Yeah, but you could get more money if you just put the games.
Yeah.
What? Why are we drip feeding so little like Super Nintendo and Nintendo games onto like the little streaming service on the Switch? You just put the game wholesale on the eShop money.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me because their stance is not these ROM sites aren't making are taking away money. It's like I just don't want them to exist because I'm not making money off that thing. So like it shouldn't matter, and yet for some reason it does, and it's so weird. And so same thing here. Palworld's not on Switch. It is not a competitor to Pokemon. It's a very different game to Pokemon. It is more a survival game than it is creature catcher. Because you could play the game without capturing you can survive in the world without capturing a creature at all. Because you can build yourself weapons and kill the creatures yourselves.
Yeah.
The pals just make it a little bit easier and funnier. So it's not a competitor to Pokemon at all.
Oh.
And they just feel the need to. This has gotten under their skins for some reason. They feel the need to lash out about it. It's so weird. When I'm sure Pocket Pair would love to put Palworld on the Switch, and for Nintendo to take a cut. So here we are, an opportunity to make more money that you are shutting down because you. Honestly, I just don't know the reason.
No, I mean, I didn't think about it. Yeah, but yeah, the 30% cut that Nintendo get from sales, like, so I'm sure back in January when Power was popping off, I'm sure someone was going, "Damn, I wish I had a piece of that." I
Yeah.
could 30%.
And now they're like, man, I'm so glad I have a piece of this now.
Yeah,
Even though the
the hype
glory
wore
period
off.
has worn off. But yeah, you're given an opportunity to make more money, Nintendo, and because of your morals, question mark, if you can call it that, you're lashing out with a lawsuit. It's so weird. It's so weird. If you want to make money off of these old games, re-release them onto the eShop or add them to the Nintendo Switch Online. If Palworld's success came as a surprise, take part in that success. You don't have a Pokemon game coming out this year. Wouldn't it be nice to make some money off of somebody else's mons? Like, it's just so weird to me. It's so weird. You can't say it's because they're a Japanese company, because Sony's a Japanese company and doesn't do this weird shit. You can't say it's because they want the money out of it, because obviously they don't. So, what are your reasonings, Nintendo?
I just say earlier, they make the most baffling moves sometimes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I love them to death, my God, but sometimes I'm just like, what are you doing? Why why are you like this?
Why?
So
That
weird.
is weird.
Um, but yeah, that's gonna conclude the news. Hopefully we get more news in the coming weeks over this lawsuit. I'm rooting for Pocket Pair. Palworld's awesome. If you haven't played it yet, it's on PS5 now. It's on Xbox already. It's on Steam. It is a lot of fun. Get yourself a couple buddies. Go catch some humans and sell them to a black market trader. Get some money. Uh, that's really that's I do it often.
I do it often. Oh.
Because the game lets you. It's funny. You roll up to the black market trader who's in this like remote area in a cave, and you just roll up, and he gives you money for these humans that you have inexplicably captured. They're
Sorry.
evil humans. It's fine.
We're just out here endorsing slavery, apparently.
We don't know what the black market trader does with them. Okay,
This is all human trafficking.
but you can't say it's slavery because we don't know what he's doing with them.
Okay.
And honestly, the funny part is they're not even worth that much money. Like 500 to 700 gold a pop.
Humans aren't worth that much. Damn.
Yeah, because they suck. They can't fly. So like when you put them to work like in your home base and stuff, they don't have any of the like attributes. They don't really do anything. So they're really just worthless. But it's just funny to capture them
God damn it.
because the game lets you. It's fun. It's funny too because their catch percentages are so low. Like even with like the really nice pal spheres, it's like maybe 10-15% to capture them.
Oh god.
So I'll just waste balls after balls capturing these fuckers all the time. I'm the only one of my friend group that has like every syndicate member captured. But those are not the only humans you can capture. You can capture shopkeeps, and then you can put them in your base, and then they have a revolving door of stuff that they can sell you every day. So it's actually beneficial to capture that human.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's great.
This game.
It's so much fun. They just kept saying yes to things, and it worked out really, really well. But yeah, go
Today,
play some Palworld. It's fantastic. But yeah, so expect the Paper Mario review sometime this week. We'll get right on that now that I have that finished. Other reviews that are coming up in the pipeline. I still have Miles Edgeworth's Investigations finished. We might do a review on those two games. Metaphor is an absolute review. We definitely will be doing a review on that one. That one will probably be a really long one too.
oh yeah, we can have some thoughts.
um.
Unless they
So
have us by the balls.
yeah, I'm sure that we'll do something with Mario Party Jamboree. So lots of great stuff to look forward to here at Games and Culture. So make sure that you subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and let us know in the comments. Are you picking up Assassin's Creed Shadows? Are you upset about the delay? Did you catch the state of play? If so, did you watch our video? Let us know. Whose side are you on, Team Nintendo or Team Palworld? I hope it's Team Palworld, because they did nothing wrong. Justice for Palworld. But until then, we will catch you all in the next video. Thanks so much.
Adios.